Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com with another match with Soul Sisters. This is a very keepable hand here with Auric Champion and Johnny's Bridemate. Martyr the Sand, we have first turn action, we have a second turn action. We have an Honor to pup things up, we have a Ranger to fill our hand back up. Pretty ideal hand. It's going to be very good against a number of decks, especially any sort of deck with red in it. I like to see a different matchup besides Burn and Delver. It looks like it's going to be a white deck, and that's not what we want to go up against as a Soul Sisters Mirror, because that is just brutal. We do have a nice hand against Soul Sisters Mirror, though. If it is the Proclamation of Rebirth version, where they're using just the Martyr version, then that is a bit of an issue, because the game just goes on forever, and then it just becomes like a time management match rather than an actual game of Magic. So, anywho, we will see what our opponent actually plays. If he's playing Death and Taxes, there's absolutely zero ways he can win. And if he's playing Hate Bears, he's in a world of hurt as well. But it appears like okay, so yeah, back to his turn 2. He's going to isolate Chabal. Black-white tokens is about 75-25. He's going to take my Auric Champion here. That's going to hurt. Yeah, he should take the Auric Champion here. Black-white tokens, though, is a deck that can beat us with Zealous Persecution. Zealous Persecution a lot of times is a blowout. It's very hard for me to come back when all my 1/1s are just dead, and then it depends on how many anthems they get. And right now, the way my sideboard is built, I don't have the greatest plan against the black-white tokens, so he did take the Auric Champion there, no surprise. So I'm just going to drop, I'll just drop a Pridemate, and then pass the turn. Get these Pridemates on board. I do need to establish the Honor of the Pure, try to keep up with anthems, and then draw into some Spectral Processions. Because if he has any Spectral Processions of his own here, or any Lingering Souls, then it's just a matter of time before he starts getting those Intangible Virtues. And if he wants to make this trade, I'll absolutely make it. I want this Auric Champion back. I highly doubt he's going to make this trade. He might have some sort of, I have no clue what, but I'll gladly get my Auric Champion back. Not quite sure why he'd want to do that. We'll win Brisk Heights. Johnny's Pridemate is something that can get out of control for him. It's absolutely going to be Honor the Pure here. That way we can keep up with the anthems. And maybe he's baiting this out to then be able to Zealous Persecution and just kind of wipe my board. But I'm okay with that. He could flash in a Midnight Haunting if he's running Midnight Haunting, but I'll get value out of it and be able to kill one of the Midnight Hauntings. I'm okay even being 1-for-2'd, or, 2-for-1'd here, if he still has a token on board, because you just gotta, yeah, there's the Zealous Persecution, so it ends up making us a little bit behind with the Tidal of Skull going bye-bye. But next turn we get a Ranger, and I'll go grab probably just 2 Ascendants. We'll see exactly how it works here. So that's going to take the Ranger. Those Tidal Skullers are extremely annoying. I could see him taking the Honor of the Pure. Highly doubt it, though. And there goes the Ranger. And see if like a Raise the Alarms comes out here. And yep, I'm getting good at calling things. So still no anthems though, so it's good for us that he has no anthems, and none of them fly. So Johnny's Pridemate's going to be bigger than most of them, but that was a great draw with the Auric Champion into the Johnny's Pridemate. Which is going to make our cat a 3/3. and still ways away from casting them Embrace Heights, but we can actually top deck into some pretty sweet things. So any Spectral Procession is just going to be a bomb. And this is going to just come down to draws. Lingering Soul is a great draw for him. He's got like Thoughtseize and Inquisition. At this point, if my hand is dry, if I have no cards in hand, they become dead. If he's able to Thoughtseize right now, I might... I mean, that would hurt. That'd lose a Honor the Pure. See if a Bitter Blossom is going to come out here. But when we draw into the Return of the Ranks is going to be pretty sweet. He's already one Zealous Persecution down, so again, any Spectral Procession is going to be great. Alright, so he decides not to play anything per attack phase. There's the Honor Pure for himself. And I'm going to keep that in my hand. I actually want him to use a Thoughtseize. And we'll pass a turn. Could make him lose both his soldiers. With one card left in his hand and my Windbrace Heights online, I don't want to make that trade. So I'm hoping the best case scenario he draws into an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize and then loses some life or at least a card trying to get this card out of my hand. Another Raise the Alarms, but again, it's not a flyer, so it's going to make my cat bigger, bigger, bigger. Which at this point trades for 3 of his tokens. And there's the Spectral Procession, which is going to make my Ajani's Predicament huge. And the Zealous Persecution now, with Honor the Pure out, is a lot less of a threat. So now I'll attack in. If he wants to make this trade, I'll gladly make the trade. How he does that, he blocks with everything. And then he'll just have a soldier left, and I'll get my ranger back. That is exactly what I thought I'd do, but little by little, I get to pick down his soldiers. And again, I knew this would come down to draws. My opponent's on the short end of the stick with the draws. He can attack him with soldier tokens. Not going to block. I might block one of them, as I only need a few up. And he runs a lot more anthems, so I'm actually valuing his soldiers a little higher than I'm valuing my spirits. If that makes any sense. I know a lot of you might say, well, this one's a flying 2/2, that's a regular 2/2. But I run 4 Honor the Pures. That's as far as I go with anthems. He runs Intangible Virtues, Zealous Persecutions, a lot of ways to pump up his guys. So I just top deck into a ranger. Don't know if I'm going to be casting it this turn. I think we'd just rather have an Honor the Pure come out. In fact, yeah, I just swing in with everything. And still that one unknown in his hand. Could be a number of cards. But a good thing about Windbrace Heights is it allows you to cast the card underneath is basically instant speed. And I hope he just puts 1 on the Auric Champion. He smartly puts 2, but we'll do it anyway. We will flash in the Honor the Pure. And He'll go down to 11 and only have one blocker back. And I'm going to go ahead and play this land. So now if he Thoughtseizes the, he'll get a Ranger, which is huge. But, I mean, I wasn't really holding that Ranger up. I guess you could have made an argument for casting the Ranger. I'm pretty far ahead at this point. Yep, there's the Thoughtseize. That is just icky, but it is what it is. So you just drew a Thoughtseize. He still has that one card that he's had in his hand this entire time. I'm getting lucky with no Lingering Souls. But Ajani's Pridemate just can continue to punch through, and he can't deal with it. So it's tempting to put in this one of Terminus. The Sundering Growth is absolutely coming in. The Path to Exiles are coming out. That's the big change, but I think I will put in this just one of Terminus. I do think it's worth it as just a card that I can... All creatures on the bottom of their owner's library, this game can get very grindy, and so all his tokens go away. And if it's like Tidebinder, Tideholder Scholars have stuff, I can get my cards back. Return of the Ranks is still fine. Archampion is still great. Honor of the Peers are amazing in this matchup. Again, there's things in the past, ways to build this in the past that are just much better in the sideboard than what we have. But in the current meta, I don't think it's really worth it to really side against black-white tokens. It's a deck you rarely see. I mean, when I say rarely, I mean rarely see black-white tokens. I don't know how well it matches up against Delver's Secrets. It probably works a lot similar to the way Soul Sisters does, but I like Soul Sisters because when I was playing like Dryad Militants and the Squadron Hawks, I was able to clog up the board very similar to the same way that they clog up the board, but then you can still die to burn, you can still die to a lot of things. Like they drop a Lingering Souls without an Anthem, it just gets answered with a Forked Bolt, and then the Delver swings in for 3/3/3/3/3, and eventually they just get you with the card advantage to Treasure Cruise. Vapor Snag kills half a token, still does the damage. I mean, it's Spectral Procession isn't even that great versus Delver a lot of the games because it just comes out too late. You need to be dropping stuff turn 1 and turn 2 against Delver. So if you are trying to build a deck that is really good against Delver, I don't think the black-white tokens is the way to go. And plus, I think that Soul Sister is more explosive with its Serra Ascendant draw. So the Martyr Sand Serra Ascendant draw. And so, yeah, I just really don't see the point of black-white tokens right now in the metagame. And it's a lot more expensive. We'll put it that way because you do need to be running the fetch lands, especially the Marsh Flats. So, anyway, Honor of the Pure Sundering Growth. This is absolutely one of the better hands, and we have mana cast everything. Gonna snap keep this. First turn Thoughtseize is a little bit difficult because it will get my Sundering Growth most likely. There's a Ranger. So there's my Soul's Attendant. And what's so good about this is I have the Honor of the Pure. Honor of the Pure. Sticking Honor of the Pure makes the Zealous Persecution so much worse as they won't wipe my board. So see if Bitter Blossom comes down here. Even if it is Bitter Blossom, I'll probably just stick the Honor of the Pure. It's just going to be an Honor of the Pure. This allows me to cast my own Honor of the Pure. And attacking for 2. And keeping a 4-land hand is really icing on the cake when you draw into 2 Rangers. I wonder if Bitter Blossom actually is in this version. It's going to be weak with the Honor of the Pure. But if he Lingering Souls here, I gain 2 life. I'll attack him with my Soul's Attendant again. He'll probably block, maybe with both of them, and I could kill Sundering Growth. Nah, that I won't attack him with Soul Attendant. Just going to go Windburst Heights. And we will absolutely put the Spectral Procession underneath. And then attacking with Soul Attendant, he can block with his Raising Alarm, so that's not going to be the right way to go. Gives me another Soul Warden, and now he's going to have to attack in, or he's going to cast his Raising Alarm right now. Oh, I guess it's not in his hand. So it could be Midnight Hunting, could be Raising Alarm. It's not worth the risk. So just passing the turn. I have a hard time believing he doesn't have anything in his hand. Wow. Okay. Well, he proved me wrong. I'd love to see an Elspeth come out here. Elspeth Nidoran. As then he'd put out a 1-1. It's a 2-2, and then I'd be able to attack him with both. Maybe it's a Wrath of God. A Hero. You know what? Hero is actually very, very rough for me to deal with. Hero of Blade Hold. Yeah, no Path to Exiles. I could just lose that. It could overwhelm the board. Never mind. That was basically the best card I could draw into. Because now my Giant's Primate's going to make that Hero basically laughable. As now he's got to debate whether to attack into a gigantic cat or not. And he can't even really cast anything else either. Rangers are looking so lethal when I do decide to cast him and put out a Serra Ascendant, because I will be up to 30 life at that point. I don't know if he's going to have enough Path to Exiles. I could see him just Wrath of Godding the board right here. Basically 3 for 2ing at this point. Zealous Persecution would be okay. I do have the Sundering Growth. And 4 cards in hand. He has the mana to cast a lot of things. Battlecry does not even pump up his own Hero Bladehold, so I mean a Giant's Primate though if he attacks will become a 7/7. Yeah, just not very good options. So it's going to be a Cloud Goat Ranger. Puts 3/1/1 soldier creature tokens. You can give it flying by tapping it, which is all good. But it's going to make my Giant's Primate huge, as well as make my life total pretty significant. So I'm just going to go ahead and Sundering Growth. He's on the pier. And proceed to have a huge cat. And it's how many does he have to tap? Tap 3 to give it flying. 3 untapped Kithkin. So I might just actually pounce in with the cat. Now I'm going to Ranger here. It is a 4/3 Ranger though. Maybe I will pounce in. because we're going to get 2 Serra Ascendants. And this will make him block with a Kithkin. And he still can't really attack him with the Ranger. So, if he attacks with Hero Blade Hold, I'll kill it with the Ranger. He'll do some damage, but not a significant amount. I can actually even kill, double block the Hero Blade Hold with 2 Soul Wardens, only lose 1 of them, as well as block the Ranger on the Cloud Goat and be just fine. And I'll lose 1 Soul Attendant or Soul Warden. The thing is, he could still, nope, he would have, Zealous Persecution may not be in his battle plan. I don't want to get Wrath of God. So Honor of the Pure is going to come down. I'm going to cast my own Honor of the Pure. And I think I will swing in again with just everything at this point. I want to, if he has a Wrath of God, I want him to have to use it here ASAP. So I guess I could leave the Pridemate back and swing with all of these. Now we'll swing in with everything. I guess he can trade. I need to swing in with 1, keep 1 back. Because I do want this Spectral Processions to come out. That is how I thought he'd block. So we'll cast a Spectral Procession. Gain some more life. Put us way ahead of the race. And take him down to a 13. So he still has 4 cards in his hand. He's going to want to be Windbrisk hiding whatever he has underneath. He could still get in here with a well-timed Wrath of God. Other than my Return of the Ranks are still in the graveyard, which will give me food for Return of the Ranks. Well, not too much actually, but what the good news is I'll just be able to drop 2 Serra Ascendants, which are very hard for him to deal with. And time management is definitely not on his side. Remember, he's got to win 2 games here. He's got to finish this game off and beat me in another game before his clock runs down. That's one of the reasons why, one of the good things I do like about MTGO, because there's nothing worse losing a PTQ, or tying actually a PTQ, because your opponent is slow and not using his time properly. And there's no real way to really convince a judge that it's your opponent. So he's going to attack those 2. It's going to put in a bunch of stuff. And I'm just going to block his Hero Blade Hold. Got to leave the Kithkin Soldier back to block the Agility's Pridemate. And I'm going to play around a Zealous Persecution and an Honor of the Pure here. So I'm going to triple block the Hero Blade Hold. Because I'll be only taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I could be taking more, but the Soul Attendant will get me back. So triple blocking it. Taking 6 at the moment, or 8 at the moment actually. Which does look like Zealous Persecution is going to come down, which makes them 4/5s, which now the spirits will still kill it. And Windbrisk Heights, which is going to be the mystery card. And did he just mess up the trigger with Windbrisk Heights? I think he might have messed up the trigger with Windbrisk Heights. Yep, he did. As you have to click on it, and if you pass priority after you clicked on it. So I wonder what was underneath. I'm thinking another Zealous Persecution, which would put me down to a 29, and he would have kept his hero. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But the scenario would have been then I would have gone down to 29, would have played the Saracen, got back to 31 life, swung in with just the Ajani's Pridemate, or probably even just the Ranger at this point, and kept the Ajani's Pridemate back. Then he's back to square one of having to attack into stuff with dealing with the 6/6 on board or whatever else. So we were in great position. Would have drawn into nothing for a while, but Return of the Ranks wasn't too far down. It would have been shuffled through with Ranger. This would have actually shuffled most of these back in. And it's just a matter of time, I think, before we take over the game. He does have like Lingering Souls. Didn't get to see a lot of Lingering Souls and things like that, but I mean, he used a lot of, without an Honor of the Pure and a Zealous Persecution, out of his 60. He's so far behind from what Soul Sisters can do, especially with triple Honor of the Pure that would be coming out here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this match. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.